This is the Schmo with the bro. He's 17-2, 5-fight win streak. Dricus Du Plessis here in Las Vegas, getting ready for UFC 282. How we doing?
Absolutely great. I'm sitting here looking at the face of Las Vegas at the moment, going absolutely great.
We appreciate that, man. The Schmo likes listening to you on the mic, predicting that you'll be a top 10 fighter. You're the number 13th ranked guy right now. You got Darren, the Gorilla Till, number 9. You certainly beat this guy. You get to be ranked in the top 10 in the UFC middleweight division.
Absolutely. I most certainly am going to beat this guy. And I mean, said it last time, I'll be a household name in the top 10 very, very soon. Here we are. I mean, just 4 months later, fighting for a top 10 spot against a big name like Darren Till, stamping my name on the division. And it will be top 5, top 3 in championship after this.
Last time you were here in Las Vegas, UFC 276, you beat Brad Tavares. It was the first time that you fought somebody and you didn't win by a knockout or submission. It went to the decision. When you go back to the drawing board and you rethink that fight and you think about what's next for you, how do you get the mojo back to get the finish in the next one?
Yeah, well, I mean, that fight was all about that experience. It wasn't for a lack of trying to get that finish. And I believe anybody else in the division took the punishment that Brad took, they would have gone down. So, I mean, we had to make some adjustments because in that fight and in every fight, you see some mistakes that you make. But, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I'm really happy I got that ring time. It's only my third fight, fighting top 10 guys. I'm going to... That fight made me learn a lot more than any quick finish would have. So, I mean, this time I know what it feels like now to get that decision. I have to say I prefer those finishes, and I'll do what I have to come December 10th to make sure I get that finish and in spectacular fashion with that.
You're not gun-shy about calling guys out in this division. You called out guys like Robert Whittaker, who's at the top. You've called out guys like Paulo Costa that you want to fight in the future. You fought and want to fight a lot of the top 10 guys. But booking fights, has that been difficult for you thus far in your UFC career?
In the beginning, yeah, because we were still struggling with COVID, you know, being from South Africa, being almost on the red list, you can call it, South Africa. That was a struggle in the first, I would say, year of my career. But now everything's opened up. Now it's not a problem anymore. I mean, I was off for a year because of COVID, not allowed, and then injury and opponents pulling out. But right now, fighting in the top 10, that wouldn't be a problem anymore. And as for calling out these guys, these big names, people I very highly respect. And at the end of the day, my goal is not one of these people. My goal is to beat the champion, whoever it may be, getting that gold. And all these guys are on my way to gold. So whether they come first, whether they come second, I want to fight everybody on my way to the title.
So let's talk about your opponent, Darren Till. He's obviously a big name. He's lost 4 of his last 5, 2-fight losing streak. He obviously needs to get a victory here. He can't be losing 3 straight, but he hasn't fought in the UFC in over a year. Any fear of this guy pulling out or any fear of that type of nature going into this one, UFC 282, December 10th?
Yeah, I think I need to correct you on that. It's not 4 out of his last 5. He lost 5 out of his last 6 in about 2 weeks. So I'm not too worried about him pulling out of this fight. I think we're at a stage now where pulling out's not really an option. Yes, I think he's been getting a lot of flack for maybe pulling out of fights. But I've seen, I've watched, I've heard. I think Darren Till's motivated for this fight. I think we're probably going to see one of the best Darren Tills we've seen in a long time in the arena come 10 December. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be enough to come even close to beating me. I'm a massive fan of Till, and I think he has shown to be an incredible athlete. He's been on and off and on and off. I do think we're going to see an on Till, but it still won't be enough. And I'm really excited. Like I said, not too worried about anything outside of the stuff that I can control, and that is going in there, putting in the best performance of my life.
He is looking good. The Schmo seeing the abs. He's been training over in Thailand, but where's the Smash Bros? Where's Khamzat Chimaev? Has he been training with that guy this training camp? You expect Khamzat Chimaev to be in his corner December 10th in Las Vegas?
Not really sure. I mean, he's not going to become a wrestler or a grappler in 2 years, and I think Khamzat is the same place where you say Darren Till's abs are non-existent. So, you know, I have to say, I don't think Khamzat's going to be in the corner, and if he is, what does he know about Till's camp at this stage? I don't think he knows too much about Till's camp, but I know Till went to Tiger Muay Thai for his camp. Brilliant camp. I've spent a lot of time there. Brilliant people, brilliant coaches, great environment, and maybe this is what Darren Till needed. You know, getting out of his comfort zone, getting away from everything he knows, and just focusing on being professional athlete. And I think that's going to be really good for the mental health and the physicality of Darren Till. Saying that he does look in better shape than he has looked in a very long time. But it's going to be interesting to see. Is Khamzat going to be in his corner? Because how do you prepare for a specific fight when there's nobody really in your corner at a certain camp? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I guess we'll find out next weekend.
Well, speaking of Khamzat Chimaev, he's calling out the champion Alex Pereira at 185 pounds, but he hasn't fought the guys in the top 10 at 185 pounds. In fact, in his last 170-pound bout, that had to go up to fight at a catchweight against Kevin Holland at 180. But fair is fair. What if Khamzat Chimaev gets an opportunity before you at the crack at 185 pounds? How would you feel about that?
At the end of the day, I don't make the decisions on who gets the title fight. I think a lot of people would be very, very disappointed if that happened. I mean, it takes away a lot of credibility of matchmaking. It takes a lot of credibility away from working for... It takes all the credibility away from rankings. And I think he needs to prove himself at 185. He's never even beaten a ranked opponent at 185. So, I mean, I would gladly love to beat Smash Bro number 1. And after this fight, get Smash Bro number 2 if he really wants to step into that top 10. But... for that matter, anybody in the top 10, anybody in the top 15 of the 185 division, he needs to go through them first, at least once or twice, if he even wants to make a statement at getting close to fighting for the belt. I just think it's ridiculous that it's even in discussion.
Well, speaking of fighting for the belt, the champion, Alex Pereira, he is the guy. Who do you think should be fighting him next? Do you think Izzy gets the immediate rematch? Do you think he fights the winner of Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, UFC 284 in Perth? What do you think should be next for the champion, Alex Pereira?
Yeah, I mean, what a performance he put on. He really shocked the world, and incredible martial artist he is. A lot of respect for him. I think if Izzy gets the rematch, the immediate rematch, I wouldn't have a problem with that, and I think a lot of people won't have the problem with that because he was such a dominant force. But I think to keep the division alive, to give a guy like Robert Whittaker a chance, that's where my mind is at, and that's a fight I would love to see. Is Izzy just Whittaker's kryptonite, or is Robert Whittaker not good enough to be the champion? I do think Izzy's style was just a kryptonite for Whittaker's style, and I do think that Whittaker can beat Pereira. So I think that'll be very, very interesting, and I think my money is on Whittaker fighting for the belt next.
So you assume or you believe that Paulo Costa does not get through Robert Whittaker, and Robert Whittaker beats Paulo Costa UFC 284?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think... I think Paulo Costa is a very strong guy. I think he's a big guy. I think he hits hard. But I don't think he has the all-around game to beat a guy like Whittaker. Whittaker is shown to be extremely, extremely durable. And a guy like Costa, a lot of strength. He does tend to get tired. Whittaker can push the pace for 3 rounds. I think Whittaker just uses his all-aroundness to beat this guy.
So you're saying the secret juice isn't enough?
Absolutely not.
Let's talk about Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. He's the co-main against Jared Flash Gordon. You surprised to see that fight as the co-main? Speaking of guys with big hype around their name. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, Baddy is a big crowd drawer. Exciting to watch. Always exciting to watch. Jared Gordon trained with him at Sanford and now Killcliff FC. He is no joke. The guy is a real deal. This is a very, very big test for Paddy, and I'm really looking forward to see what both these guys can bring. Jared Gordon is an incredible athlete. Also, Paddy, he has all the hype. He has he's pulling the crowds. He has this aura around him. Now it's time to see if he can back that up against a real fighter like Jared Gordon, who's an exceptional athlete. I just can't wait. I think it's a very exciting fight.
So you're obviously a good-looking guy in the middleweight division from South Africa. What do the schmoes out there not know about you that they should know about you come December 10th, getting your hand raised? And you are a top 10 guy in the middleweight division getting your hand raised.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's setting history for South Africa, telling people something that they don't know yet. I'm not one for telling you what I'm going to do, but I will be showing them in a very, very short time. If I was a few weeks out, maybe a few months out from a fight, I would have been talking about it. But I don't need to be talking about it right now. I'll be showing you next weekend.
Final message for all the Dricus Du Plessis fans out there worldwide.
Just guys, thank you for supporting South African MMA. Everybody back home, everybody worldwide, appreciate it. Come Saturday night, there'll be a new household name in the top 10. I told this to you 2-3 fights ago. This is coming. I'm coming for the top 10, and I'm coming for that belt. Cheers.
He's the pro. I'm the schmo, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're out.